Hey, this is Mike from the Run Testers, and in this video we're going to be giving you our comparison thoughts on how the Hoka Clifton 9 compares to the Hoka Mach 5. So here's a lowdown on the Hoka Clifton 9 and the Hoka Mach 5. We'd say you could class both of these shoes as daily trainer options, with the Mach 5 offering more of a race slant than the Clifton 9. Both come in regular and wide fit options, with the Clifton 9 priced at £130 or $145. And the Mach 5 comes in at £130 and $140. So pretty close in price. Though you can currently find the Mach 5 for below that £100 mark if you shop around. Weight-wise, a UK size 8 in both of these shoes came in at 250 grams for the Mach 5 and 243 grams for the Clifton 9, putting the Mach in as the lighter shoe. Both offer 5mm heel to toe drops, with the Clifton 9 packing an EVA-based midsole foam and Hoka's early stage Meta Rocker design to create a smooth and protected ride. The Mach 5 uses a dual density Pro Fly Plus midsole to offer a level of cushioning and a more responsive ride to help make it a more suitable shoe for more up-tempo running time. Upperwise, the Clifton 9 uses elements of mesh and knit with a more padded tongue compared to the skinnier tongue and the single layer mesh upper on the Mach 5. At the outsole, Hoka uses a rubberized EVA one on the Mach 5, while a Durabrasion rubber outsole sits on the Clifton 9 to make it suitable for eating up a lot of running.
So both the Mach 5 and the Clifton 9 fit me very well in my normal size. I found them completely true to size. I have quite a narrow foot, so don't have any problems with Hoka's narrow toe boxes. I'd say of the two, the Mach is a little bit narrower than the Clifton, but yeah, all good for me, true to size in both shoes.
So fit for me has been absolutely fine in my UK size 8. These are very narrow fitting shoes. These do come in regular and kind of wide fit options. So if you wanted something a little bit more accommodating, then you do have that option on both of these shoes. Mine's are the regular versions, and I would say you feel the narrowness of the Mach 5 more than you do in the Clifton 9. I think that comes down to the fact that maybe the upper and the way the kind of lockdown feel you get on this shoe, I think, you know, and that's kind of really, I think, geared towards the fact you can use this for kind of racing. You really notice that a bit more. Though I'm happy with the kind of space in front of the kind of toes, but I think, you know, you feel it a little bit more. You feel that space a little bit more in the Clifton 9. I think that comes down to the fact that you are getting slightly different makeup in terms of that upper, which I think hugs a little bit nicer, feels a little bit more accommodating in the midfoot, I would say, as well. And also you're getting a little bit more padding at the heel, I think, or a touch more padding at the heel in comparison to the Mach 5, which creates, I think, something a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more snug fitting in general. But yeah, I would say, you know, for me, UK size 8s, it's been absolutely fine. If you want to go a little bit more wide in terms of that fit, then you do have the option on both of these shoes.
The Mach 5 is one of my favourite all-round daily trainers. It's just got a really nice underfoot feel, disappears on the foot nicely, and just allows you to do runs of a real wide variety of paces and distances. Like, it's really lightweight, so you can go and pick up the pace in it. It's got a nice smooth ride, but I find it cushioned enough to go and just do relaxing, easy runs, and it's a really great long run shoe, whether you're working at an easy pace or trying to push for something a little bit faster. So I do think it's a really versatile shoe, has a lovely underfoot feel. You've got enough feel for the ground there, but you are protected, and the rocker really works well. I find it very easy to get in sync with the shoe and just roll along at kind of any pace. Clifton 5 has a few of those characteristics as well. Like, it's got a nice rocker. I do find it pretty comfortable as well, but the midsole is more suited to just easy runs than the Mach 5. Like, obviously the Mach 5 is positioned as the faster trainer, but I do think it's very versatile, whereas the Clifton I don't think is that versatile. Like, it's a nice easy run shoe. It's got a good amount of protection there, but it doesn't really give you a lot back when you try and pick up the pace. The midsole just doesn't feel as responsive as the Pro Fly dual density midsole on the Mach 5, which can give you a bit back when you want to run a bit faster. The Clifton just feels a bit dull underfoot, and although there is a rocker there, it sometimes feels a little bit more clunky than the Mach 5. But it does have some benefits to it. Like, it is a bit more cushion and protector than the Mach 5. I think it's going to be a fair bit more durable because it's got a proper rubber outsole and just it's built to last a bit more in general. However, I do think part of the joy that comes from the ride in the Mach 5 is down to the fact it doesn't have a rubber outsole. It means it gets a lovely quiet and soft contact with the ground, whereas the Clifton could be a bit more slappy because of the rubber hitting the pavement, but you're trading there the ride feel for durability, I suppose. Clifton's also got a slightly more comfortable padded upper. Like I say, it's more like a more robust, slightly more built-up version of the Mach in a way, but it really does lack the really enjoyable ride feel of the Mach 5, and I certainly prefer the Mach 5 for pretty much any kind of run.
So I have run a lot in the Mach 5 since we kind of tested and did our full review of the shoe. It's still one that kind of sticks in my rotation. It's one that I'll pick up and do kind of a variety of different runs in. If I want to go and just go and log some miles, I can do this in this shoe pretty comfortably. If I wanted to do some speed sessions, if I wanted to go out and do a kind of quicker race, I've done that in this shoe as well. I think the biggest benefits from my kind of experience running it in the Mach 5 is that it's a lot lighter than the Clifton 9, I would say, and I kind of like the fact that it's a lot lighter. The midsole is a very different feeling. It's a little bit more firmer, but it's because you've got that kind of dual density kind of midsole makeup here, which, you know, you're getting that kind of more responsive feel from it when you're running a little bit quicker, that kind of that firm feel, you get it. But I still think you've got a level of cushioning that makes it protective and comfortable to kind of run kind of longer in as well. And that's kind of the reason why I've used this shoe kind of on a regular basis, because it gives you that capacity to run a little bit quicker in it. But if I've wanted to ease off, then I have the scope to do that in this shoe as well. I like the kind of more lockdown feel in this shoe as well that you get from the upper. As I said, it's a lot lighter, I think, than the Clifton 9. And I think it makes it more suitable for kind of racing if you wanted a shoe to kind of race and train in. In terms of what you're getting from the Clifton 9, I think you're getting the experience of the ride that you're getting on this shoe is very similar to this, you know, and, you know, you've got those kind of early stage Meta Rocker designs in these shoes that give you those kind of smooth transitions. What you're getting here is obviously a slightly heavier shoe. It's not heavy or kind of clumpy in that sense, but it, you know, you do have an extra bit of weight here. The cushioning or the feel of that midsole is very different. I think it's a little bit softer feeling in comparison to the kind of midsole makeup on the Mach 5, and what that does, it creates is something I think feels more comfortable to run a lot longer in. And I think if I wanted a shoe to run longer distances in, and, you know, I didn't have really a massive emphasis on the kind of pace I was going out in, this is the shoe that I would probably grab to do it in. While you can do it in this shoe, I think it feels a lot more comfortable to do those kind of runs in. Now, when I tried to run a little bit quicker in the Clifton 9, I don't think it is as capable of running at those kind of quicker paces. So if you wanted a shoe that kind of felt or offered that more of that versatility, I don't think you really get that with this shoe. But what I do think you get in abundance, you get something that's a lot more comfortable, I think, overall in terms of the upper, in terms of the midsole. I think you're getting probably a tougher outsole, and you're getting more durability out of that outsole as well in comparison to the Mach 5. And I think this, you know, this is something that's kind of carried on from the Mach 4, where I think, you know, if you logged a lot of miles in, you start to see a kind of a lot more of the wear on the outsole in comparison to the Clifton outsole here. But I think ultimately these are two very good daily trainers. I've enjoyed running in the Clifton 9. I have spent a lot of time running in the Mach 5, but I think ultimately I would spend more time in the Mach 5 mainly, and I have done anyway, because I think it's more versatile in terms of that shoe, and you do get the kind of right level of comfort, I think. I think the feel of that midsole, the ride that you're getting from that shoe, I think, you know, you're getting a lot there in terms of a shoe that you can use for a lot of different runs. But I think with the Clifton 9, I think it's best suited for those kind of more comfortable, easier to kind of moderate paced runs. Potentially you could run a little bit quicker in it, but I don't think a massive amount quicker, whereas I think you're getting a more enjoyable kind of responsive ride from the Mach 5. So yeah, that's kind of my take on the Mach 5 and the Clifton 9. I would use the Mach 5 more than I would do the Clifton 9 personally, but I think these are daily trainers with different needs that can serve different runners. But I think ultimately I've had more time, enjoyed my time more in the Mach 5.
I find the Mach 5 comfortable enough and cushioned enough for use for easy runs, long runs. And that means, for me, it's a very clear choice here between these two shoes. I think the Mach 5 is just a better shoe for any kind of run I'd want to go and do than the Clifton. However, you are going to lose some durability compared to the Clifton. And I think other runners who don't find the Mach 5 cushioned enough, or maybe slightly heavier runners, will prefer the Clifton. It's got a bit more cushioning there. For your easy runs, long runs, you're going to get a bit more protection, a bit more durability, a little bit more grip, and it's just going to be more of a workhorse of a shoe. Now the Mach 5 can do all that, but it's going to last slightly less amount of time. It's a little bit less cushioned. But then when it comes to faster runs, there really is no contest at all here. The Mach 5 is a much better speed day shoe. That is what it's built for, and it's got a lighter, more responsive ride than the Clifton, which can feel a bit cumbersome if you do try and pick up the pace, in my experience. They kind of would work nicely as a little two-shoe rotation. They're very similar in terms of drop and the rockers, and the Clifton's just going to eat up a lot more miles than the Mach and be more durable. So if you could use both of them in rotation. I tend to think if you're going to have a shoe rotation, it's nice to have slightly different types of shoes to mean that your body gets slightly different impacts put through it, like different drops and that kind of thing. But if you do want two fairly similar Hoka shoes, then the Clifton and the Mach 5 is a nice little training rotation that can handle everything, with the Clifton just soaking up some mileage so you don't go through your Machs that quickly. But just picking between the shoes, I think the Mach 5 can do pretty much everything, and it does it very well, and that would be my pick for sure. But if you do want a bit more cushioning, a slightly more durable shoe, the Clifton is that. It is like that slightly more robust version of the Mach, but does lose a lot in terms of ride feel, both because the midsole isn't quite as good and because you get that slightly slappier ride from having the outsole.
So my take on the Clifton 9 versus the Mach 5 is that it really depends in terms of what you want from a daily trainer. If you want something that's built primarily for comfort, for logging a lot of mileage, you know, something you can go in long in on a regular basis and you're going to probably get a little bit more life out of it, I would go for the Clifton 9. I think you've got a more comfortable upper on here. I think the midsole, the makeup on this shoe is built for kind of logging a lot more mileage and kind of easier to kind of moderate paces. That is what this shoe is going to give you. Now for me, the Mach 5 is a lot more versatile. I still think you can go kind of nice and easy in this shoe, but ultimately you've got the scope to go and run quicker sessions in this. I've raced in this shoe. I felt comfortable to race in it. I felt comfortable to run a little bit easier in it as well. And it's I would say it's a lot nicer and lighter, and I think you get a nicer lockdown feel, particularly I think in the midfoot on this on the Mach 5 as well. I think you're maybe losing a little bit in terms of that kind of outsole durability in comparison, but I think you can still get a decent amount of mileage in it, and you can use it to log a lot of mileage in as well, and I have done since I've tested as well. So yeah, I think what it boils down to is that these are very good daily trainers. This one I would say is more versatile. You can run quick and kind of easy sessions in it. I think this is better suited to running kind of easy kind of in it on kind of moderate paces, but you still get a similar kind of smooth kind of ride in both these shoes. It's just it feels a little bit nicer to go quicker in this shoe, and that's the real benefit from going for the Mach 5, I would say, over the Clifton 9. Okay, so there you have it. That is our take on how the Hoka Clifton 9 compares to the Mach 5. If you've got any questions about either of these shoes or any other aspects of these shoes and how they compare, let us know in the comments. If there are other videos or comparison videos you want to see us do with the Hoka Clifton 9, let us know about that as well. As always, like and subscribe, hit that little bell to find out about our latest videos, and yeah, we'll see you for the next Run Testers video.